As an entrepreneur, it's very important to be fast. You have to be quick in everything you do. The most successful people respond to clients the quickest. I booked a flight today to Miami. I'm going tomorrow. And I recently saw a lot of advertising from this new company called Soar Flights. And Soar Flights, it's basically a software that is similar to Uber, in which you can book flights extremely easily, just like you can book rides easily. Right before Uber, it was kind of hard to coordinate getting a pickup. You had to wave a taxi down, right? And then Uber came out and you could just schedule it directly on your app and get picked up. Soar is doing the same thing with flights. However, obviously you can already schedule flights online, but if you know some of the major websites like booking through Amex or booking through any of the credit card companies or even the airlines themselves, it's like tricky. Like they have outdated UIs, they're buggy, and sometimes flights can be very expensive. I was going to book a one-way to Miami this morning and I checked Amex and it was like $500, right? And then I remember I heard about this company called Soar. I went on Soar and they were much cheaper. It was $255. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna book it through Soar instead. And I had the best user experience like out of any software I've ever used. They had a bug and it wouldn't let me book my flight. Within 5 minutes, the co-founder of the company texted me. Mind you, this is a company that just raised, I think, $10 million or $1 million at a $10 million valuation. The same kids that founded Cal AI, right? Which I think sold for a significant amount of money. If I'm not mistaken, it was hundreds of millions of dollars, but I could be totally wrong. That's just what one of my friends told me. The co-founder of the company texted me within 5 minutes on a Sunday at 3 p.m. because I got a bug. And he fixed it, and he pushed a fix, and then I was able to book the flight. That's crazy, right? You're talking about kids that are millionaires, right? Sold a company for hundreds of millions of dollars, if I'm not mistaken. And they're still acting that quickly. And mind you, they don't know that I'm a business owner. Like, they just think I'm a normal customer, right? That has nothing to do with it. They don't know me personally. But they were still able to fix the bug within 5 minutes. That's crazy. This is why these guys are successful. This is why they were able to sell an AI software for a significant amount of money, because they're quick. They get shit done. That's important. In life, it's very important to get shit done. Your customer support needs to be quick. Your sales needs to be quick. Your hiring needs to be quick. It's very important in every area of your business, you move quickly. And it's a numbers game. You test things out. If it doesn't work, all right, boom, move on to the next solution. But as soon as you notice something isn't working, you should change it. Now, this doesn't mean that you should have woman in the red dress syndrome. You should stick to one specific skill set and one specific business, but you should try a lot of things so you know what works, and then you become better than your competition. And you'll notice the biggest way to get ahead is just by being quicker than everyone else, right? If a client signs up for your service or your software or your product, then you want to respond to them as quickly as possible. And you want to make it feel personalized too. Like, they didn't send me an automated message saying that somebody would check this within 24 hours and fix it. The founder reached out to me. He texted me from his personal phone number and he fixed the bug. That's what dedication is like, and that's what it takes to be successful in business. Back when I was 13, I knew how to buy PS5s, and I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money because I didn't know how to get money at the time, right? I checked out around 250 PS5s on one drop for one guy, and he was paying me $50 per checkout. Actually, I checked out around 400, but only 250 of the orders stuck. Around 150 got canceled. At the time, PS5s were selling for $500 profit each. So I made this guy $125,000 within a span of one day, because he got all the PS5s and he literally just dropped them off to a buying group and they wired him the money. 125K profit. Don't get me wrong, I made 12.5K, but the only reason I didn't make more money is because I didn't know how to get capital. A few years later, I was reselling sneakers, doing a business model called brick flipping. And in this business model, it's very low margin, but high volume. So I would buy 1,000 pairs of Air Force Ones for $67 each, and then sell all of them on StockX the next week for $68 each. And since Air Force Ones sell so quickly on StockX, I was able to move all of them very quickly. And I would make $1 per pair, right? So $1,000 in profit. Obviously, I had to put 60K up, but the reason I was able to do that is because I had access to business charge cards, the Amex Plum card. So I would charge hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in result of getting a 1 to 2 to 3% margin, but it wasn't my money. And I was able to do this because I made a company in Delaware. They allow you to do that under 18. And my mom was one of the managing members, or she was a managing officer of the LLC, so she didn't have any tax liability or anything like that, but she was able to sign legal contracts on behalf of it. So that's how we got the credit card. But imagine if I got that charge card a few years before when I was doing PS5s, when I was botting them. I would have been able to make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I checked out thousands of PS5s and, you know, high hundreds, maybe 700 orders stuck while I was botting them. I would have been way more locked in if it was my own money, of course, because I was making way more. And let's say I got 2,000 PS5s and I was making 500 per. That's $1 million in profit that I could have made when I was 14. Because my mom had the credit, I just didn't know charge cards were a thing. And I didn't know Amex would give you such high limits. So I lost out on over $1 million in profit at the age of 14 because I wasn't quick enough. I didn't have the right information. But I was just one YouTube video away from discovering that I could do that, one Google prompt away. I took business more seriously when I was in high school, and that's why I got those charge cards, but the opportunity was way worse. I was making 1% versus doubling my money. So I didn't make as much money. I still made money though, and I learned. But now I know, whenever you have a good opportunity in front of you, you need to act quickly upon it, and you need to go all in. Don't change businesses though, stick to one thing, it's very important. You want to become a master at one thing. I know people that are still reselling sneakers, making millions of dollars per year in profit. Most people stopped. Most people moved to Amazon, and then they moved to live selling, and then in a few years they're going to move to something else. And those same people have barely made any money. You know, they've been doing business for 20 years and they made a few $100K. Versus somebody that's sticking to one thing is making a bunch of money. So the verdict of this video is that speed kills, and go all in on opportunities.